And lastly, sir, before we go back to the Oval Office to sign a large number of other items, is a directive to the federal government ending the weaponization of government against the political adversaries of the previous administration, as we've seen.
It's Triangle. Let's get into it. So I'm glad it's no longer President elect Trump. It's President Trump. We've seen all the pomp and circumstance around his inauguration. And I'll admit, the inauguration is not really something I'm into. I'm kind of like, yeah, tradition is important, and I get it. And he should have his moment in the sun. You know, he deserves it, especially after everything he's been put through. But for me, it's like, okay, there's work to do. We need every single last second of his presidency to even have a chance of giving our people hope, real tangible hope again. But my wife does say I get too serious, and I think she's right. So here's this. So just like that one, there was a lot of memorable moments yesterday, very impactful moments throughout the day that showed the president was just in a good mood, that he was full of levity. He was enjoying the crowd, enjoying his moment. He should. This is a true moment of triumph. You have to understand, in the grand scheme of things, nothing like this has ever happened before. Yeah, you had a guy back in 1892 who did non-consecutive terms, but he didn't have to deal with a middle person who exacerbated the most ludicrous bastardization of justice that we've ever seen. The amount of things that Trump had to get through to get to the top again. I mean, this is a story, man. This whole last 4 years and everything that's been going on is a movie. It's something that you should remember forever. I mean, when we're long gone, they're going to be writing about this. But when we look at the things that we have seen Trump do, he did three balls. He did the sword dance. He did all kinds of different things yesterday, and I'm just astonished at how much energy and vigor. I mean, he held a 90-minute presser while signing 196 executive orders in the Oval Office. I mean, we just haven't seen this. We haven't seen this kind of vigor in a long time, and it's refreshing to see it again. Of those 196 orders, though, there was one in particular that I really found the best for the country, for the J6 hostages that we saw. Let's take a look.
So this is January 6th. These are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon.
Yes.
Full pardon.
Full pardon or commutation?
Full pardon. We have about 6 commutations in there where we're doing further research. Nice to see you again. So this is a big one. Anything you want to explain about this? We hope they get them. We hope they come out tonight, frankly. We're expecting it. Approximately 1,500 people, six commutations.
See, the thing about Trump, and this is why people love him and our enemies fear him, is that he keeps his promises. Unlike the previous administration, like I said, I will not name that administration, the untold harm and horrors and pain and suffering that they have inflicted upon our nation will be felt for generations to come. And we are only grateful that we have Trump to stop that for just a time. We won't be able to reverse everything they did, but a great significant portion of what that previous administration did to our nation will be erased. They will be erased. They won't be remembered. Only the memories of the pain they inflicted and the lessons that taught us will be remembered, so that we will never have anything like them ever again. But anyway, one of those key promises that President Trump made was to release the J6ers. And, there's so much on the J6ers. I have a couple of videos here if you want to go check them out. There's so many things that we know now that we didn't know before. You saw the preemptive pardons from the previous administration preemptively, which they said they wouldn't do, but they lied about that, of course. If you need a pardon, you did something wrong. And in this case, some of the J6ers, yeah, some of them didn't do the best things. Some of them, they trespassed, this and that, but they've paid their penance. These are people who, yes, entered a federal building without permission, but who certainly did not deserve the harsh treatment they received in D.C. The abuse, the violation of their constitutional rights, and other injustices should have been addressed much sooner. Right now, we're hearing, I'm not sure how true this is, so don't put any stock into it. I got to do more research, but we're hearing that the DC jails are not releasing the J6ers at the time of this recording due to some pending NDA signage. But I'm not sure how true that is, but we shall see. But we do know there is delay. The pardons, as soon as they're signed, it's immediate. You gotta do it. It's a pardon. You gotta do it. So hopefully those J6ers are out soon. But another thing I hope after we get through all this minutia is I hope that they receive all the restitution that they are due for all the abuses and the violations to right, because the corruption of the previous administration, and you can tell just kind of in my voice how I feel about that, was just astronomical, right? Obviously, of all the executive orders signed by President Trump, this one seems to be the one the alternative media is pretty much stuck on. So let's watch this exchange on CNN.
About with the pardons, what's your take on that?
Here's what I think. Were these people punished? Yes. Were they ruined financially? Yes. Did they spend time in jail? Yes. Have their lives been ruined? Absolutely. And one of you said earlier, Van or Axe, that you think this sends a terrible signal that you can get away with things like this, as though we've never had a moment in recent American history when people were not punished for rampaging around when they shouldn't have been. It was the summer of 2020. And these people were actually punished. Those people were never even charged.
That's not true at all.
That's not true. Most charges were not.
Let him answer. But I do see it differently in that I don't like it when people tear up buildings at all. I'm not a part of some pro-riot, pro-crime lobby. But I really don't like when people attack police officers. I really don't like it at all. I'm the son of a police officer. My uncle's a police officer. I don't like it at all. If you attack a police officer, before you get any lenience or before you get any support from this society, you should apologize. And they didn't. And that's wrong. And you yourself and others said you would have a problem if the violent ones were let go.
I concede it. I agree.
And that's my problem tonight.
I agree. I don't like the idea specifically the people that attack police. I'm in agreement with you on that. But I do think it is important to note that these people, whatever they did, whether it was just accidentally walking in or doing something much, much worse, Elliot, you can correct me if I'm wrong, most of them, if not all of them, did get punished, serve some kind of time. And my assumption is virtually all of them have had their lives effectively ruined.
So yeah, you have that. So I agree that no one who hurt cops should have been pardoned, but I don't believe they were, essentially. A lot of this stuff comes hot out of the press, and then the nature of the leftist mind goes towards this area where they believe this is how this person should react because I think they are evil, so they will react this way, and that's where their minds go. But we are obviously more clear-headed than that. So again, I don't think they were. There were 1,500 pardons there were actually 6 commutations as well. Commutation is like a kind of like a reduction of a sentence given by a president or a governor. For instance, like if someone had a death sentence, that might be to be reduced to life. For instance, like the things that the previous administration did. Again, we'll find out more about the scope of these pardons soon enough, but just kind of keep that in mind. Let's not forget that the previous administration pardoned his son. He commuted sentences for murderers, actual murderers, and in the final hours of his failed presidency, he pre-pardoned those involved in the J6 investigations and his so-called crime family. So you have to take that with what you've seen from the other side. So all the naysaying and the, oh, we're mightier or holier than thou, they can get on with that mess. The J6ers deserve freedom. So really, if you look at it and you kind of study it, I guess the question for me is, how will these pardons of the J6ers be remembered? I don't think the time these folks lost can ever be replaced. They have gone through so many hardships that most in our nation will never understand. When the dust from our bones are long gone and the sun shines upon a refreshed world, they will write the stories of the events of President Trump's time, and the time of the J6ers will be a part of that story, and how our time served as a reminder of when America turned to madness, but at the last time came back to common sense. I really believe that. I'm glad the J6ers are free, and I'm glad the president kept his promise on day one. On day one. Well, that's been all for The Right Angle. We'll see you on the next one.